Alright, welcome everybody to another, early late night stream tonight. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock, so quite a bit earlier than I usually do my streams. Yeah, let's see if we can do a long one tonight. So you see me streaming U-Boat again. That game where we slip into the role of a German submarine commander in Second World War. And I am doing a complete playthrough, having started in real time more than a year ago, doing mission by mission, a complete walkthrough through the war, having started back then at the eve of the raid on Poland, which was September 39, and if you look at the top left of the screen now, it's late February 44, which means that we are more than 4 years into the war and are entering the final stage of the U-Boat war. And at the moment we are taking part in this sub-campaign which is called The Last Stand. And yeah, the name says just everything. So our recent mission is part of this Last Stand, and yeah, it's just one of these ordinary patrol missions. Patrol the area and sink, not quite sure how much, 10,000 tons, 7,000 tons, not quite sure if it was a medium or difficult mission. Well, to get out here was already pretty difficult because we ran into loads of enemy air patrols, and this is why we are actually submerged right now. So let's take a brief check. Disciplines are right, although we have a high fatigue level. Because, yeah, sooner or later I have to send the crew on a shore leave. Maybe when next time we are back in La Rochelle. Well, if we make it. Air quality is good, fuel is good, battery capacity is fine. So that's where we are. And yeah, we have 3 different types of food supplied to the crew to at least, yeah, minimize the discipline drop over time. Yeah, let's turn on the pump briefly. There is no ships around, but there were some airplanes around. Full complement of torpedoes. We didn't see any action yet.
Herr Kaloin?
Yeah, at the moment we are going flank speed. Maybe let's reduce speed for a few minutes to be sure that there is no enemy ships around. Nevertheless, I fear that there is still airplanes up there circling. And they turned out to be a bit of a pain in the ass on our way out from La Rochelle. Yeah, yesterday it was only a short 1.5 hour stream, but it took us all the 1.5 hours to get from here to there. Yeah, because we constantly ran into air patrols. Well, and probably also because we constantly had a nice chat next to the game. Yeah, but that's what I love about streaming. It's, yeah, my love for gaming, but I also love this concept, yeah, for the conversation that we have. My fascination with being connected with people, well, being close and as well far away, being continents or oceans away. This is what I love about streaming, actually. So just finished a cup of coffee, so let's see. I should be in shape to do a longer stream tonight than I did last night. Okay, the pump is turned off again. The crew does it automatically when all the water is out of the boat. And so this is pretty great because you don't have to do useless micromanagement. The crew is relatively smart. And this is what I love so much about this game, because the weighting between micromanagement and responsibility is great in the game. So as a captain you really wouldn't have to do just any detail, but in a submarine you still have a lot of responsibilities as a commander, and that's just greatly done in the game, always giving you the feeling that you're not just pressing buttons on the keyboard to let the boat do things, but it's always like you have the crew and you give orders to the crew, and the crew then makes the boat do things. Hey, Mr. Grumps, nice to have you in. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Yep. Yes, great. That's great to have you. So I hope you're fine. To be honest, I don't quite recall where you're from. My guess was, I don't know, English or US? British? Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell if you don't want to. Perfectly fine, but I'm always a bit curious about that. If we are in the same time zone, or... Ah, okay, UK, London, yeah, so same time zone, almost. Or is it? I'm never sure. Do we have 1 hour of time shift to London? So around here it's 20 past 10. Are you 1 hour earlier in London right now? I'm never sure about that. Hey Nico, great to have you in. Good evening. Nice to see you again. How are you doing? So it's Friday, end of the week, and we are heading straight into the weekend. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I usually do home office on Fridays, but not today. Today I had some extended meeting at my job, and so I went there. I went to Frankfurt today. But as I said, at the moment things are a little bit less stressy at work. So you saw me doing a lot of streaming, particularly as the rest of my family is doing a bicycle tour at the moment. And yeah, I couldn't join because I still have to work. There was some planning which didn't quite turn out to work like I wanted it to work. Hey, and Aqua Icing is also with us. That's great. From Canada. Beautiful. Nice to have you in. How are you doing? Ah, Nico, you are at a wedding, so big party. You only met him twice in your life. Yeah, well. Yeah, okay, it would be great if you come in after the party, but don't leave it early. So, in Germany there is pretty different habits. I remember my wedding and the wedding of my friends, which went deep into the night, and then we once joined a Bavarian wedding of a colleague in Augsburg, and there we learned that the habit in Bavaria is that the party of a wedding has to stop at 12 o'clock. And they're pretty straight about that, so that was a bit of a surprise. And yeah, I heard it later on from different people, and it was not just this guy that he was a, well, party break, we would call it in Germany, Partybremse. But it seems to be kind of an unwritten law in Bavaria that the wedding party has to stop at 12 o'clock. Pretty weird from my point of view. Now, shall we? Come on. Let's end the alarm. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. So, I had a relatively unbusy week, so I did quite a few streams. You might have seen that I even did quite a few DayZ streams out of my ordinary schedule. But here I am back on UBOAT and yeah, having a good time. Having a very quiet weekend because I'm all alone here at home at the weekend, so I can do some binge gaming and binge streaming over the weekend. And a good thing is that in contrast to most of the weekends of the last months, I just have minimum work to do. Maybe I could even afford to just not work at all over the weekend. So I am perfectly fine and ready for a long late night stream. Particularly seeing all you guys turning up. No, no contacts. So what are we gonna do? Let's order Mr. Arlos, our first mechanic, to advise the crewmates at the depth steers. Ah, Mr. Grumps. I won't tell. So, just want to keep that level of anonymity. Yeah. Living in the Frankfurt area, this is what you all know. But, yeah. Let me keep that secret about my job. Okay, but is the stream still working? Yeah, I used to key into the stream with another account on my smartphone to kind of counter check, to have one eye on my telephone to see whether the stream is properly working. And yeah, it got stuck, but looks like it looks like everything is fine for you, isn't it? So here we are at, let's go for periscope depth, and having Mr. Arlos do that improved depth keeping, consulting of the two guys at the depth steers. This actually prevents us from broaching the surface. Okay, Mr. Grumps, thanks for the feedback. Now, the captain is pretty tired, so let's have our bosun, Mr. Schultz, man the periscope and give him 2 additional guys. So that would increase the range, because now 1 additional crewmate would man the observation periscope, and a 2nd additional crewman would assist to Mr. Schultz, our bosun. So let's see what we get. Yeah, in contrast to the hydrophone, We have such a small vision range. What is it at the moment? 1 mile. Okay, it's extending. It's extending. Let's stuck our head out a little bit more. Clear sight for 1 mile. Maximum sight 4 miles. Yeah, maybe we should just stuck out our here, the snorkel.
Schnorchel ausfahren.
So with the snorkel up, we could use the diesel.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
So I always wanted to see what difference it makes. So let's go. Halbe Fahrt. Cruise speed ahead. And there we are with the snorkel. And so the crew switched to the diesel engine. So this recovers oxygen level, but relatively slow because, yeah, this is just a small tube and it takes a long time to ventilate the boat via the snorkel. Yeah, and we are submerged. Why do we have neglected food preparation? Didn't I stop the alarm? So somebody should do the food. Yeah, so it just takes a little while. I'm not quite sure why I do get the neglected food preparation -3. Now we're going 10 knots with the diesel. This is probably a little bit too fast while being submerged, being rather unrealistic. But yeah, let's go like that now. We are recovering, reloading our batteries like that as well. If we would go flank speed, then we would use all our power to propulse the boat and there would be no power left to reload the batteries. Well, große Fahrt already reduces the load rate a bit, and at äußerste Fahrt, flank speed, you can't load the batteries at all. So perfectly fine what we do here. And now, new stream, new save. And let's do some time acceleration and keep fingers crossed that we are not, yeah, badly surprised by enemy airplanes. Okay, I don't know why we can't get access to the full time compression. maybe it's either because we are submerged or it is because there are enemy planes around. So that takes a bit of a while. Yeah, okay, so now this debuff of -3 per minute, because no food preparation was going on, that vanished. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Ah, yeah, now we have access to somebody has to man the periscope. I'm really gonna have problems with the two officers, the captain and the bosun. Those are the ones who can man the periscope. And in this mode now, see the captain, yeah, he's resting at the moment, but he's still pretty tired. And the fitness of Mr. Schultz is also already going down, but I need to have somebody at the periscope when I do it like that. It might always be that enemy airplane radar picks up our rig that we stick out of the water, like the antenna and the snorkel and the... Yeah, we can't even stick the antenna out of the water, I think.
Standseerohr besetzen.
We can only use the hydrophone down here at periscope depth. And it would be pretty helpful if we could stick the antenna out of the water to do that passive detection of airplanes, radar airplanes coming in.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Yeah, the captain is almost fit again. So let him do the duty on the periscope. No, there he goes.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Bestätige.
And Mr. Schultz is gonna get some sleep. So now, nightfall.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Oh, it's the watch of Mr. Schultz now, but he's just too tired.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Natürlich, Herr Kaloy. Schraubengeräusche. Große Gruppe. Peilung 35 Grad.
"43 degrees. "34 degrees. Sorry, like that.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr
Okay, rather close actually. Wow, an enormous convoy, obviously.
Herr Kaloy? Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
It's closing in, okay. Medium speed closing in.
Kurs setzen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
No. Actual distance is 19 miles, and at the moment we are moving with 8 knots underwater. So if we go for half an hour, we would go 4 miles, and them, if it's an ordinary convoy, half an hour, they're also moving with 8 knots, so half an hour should bring them 4 miles further, and they would be somewhere on that circle. Now let's go and see if we get a second data point to figure out their speed and their course. And let's give it a save. Now it's 7:30. Did I say? Why are we going so slow? 3 knots? Okay, are we switching? We are not constantly going with the diesel engines, because probably now and then the snorkel vanishes underwater. So that means that I probably would have to let, for example, our Mr. Grada, our chief engineer, improve the depth keeping. So 15 minutes.
Kurs setzen.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloy. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Okay, 15 minutes brought them there, 2 miles, so that pretty much looks like that they are, 2 miles in 15 minutes would be 8 miles in an hour, would be 8 knots.
Kurs auf diese
So
Koordinaten setzen.
that pretty much looks like their course should be something like that. So another half an hour would bring them there, and another half an hour would bring us there. Yeah, let's get in front of them. Mr. Schultz needs to turn in for a little while,
Ja?
get some sleep.
Endlich ein paar Stunden Pause.
I'm gonna need you later to operate the torpedo calculator. Hey, Uncle Bot. Nice to have you in. Yeah, happy lurking. How are you doing? Hope you have a smooth slip out of the week into the weekend.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Bestätige.
So that would bring us on a good intercept position if our figures so far are fairly correct. By the way, weather is 11 knots, That's not too stormy. That's still relatively fair weather with, yeah, moderate waves, hopefully. I wonder at which distance they would be able to detect our snorkel. So we should go faster. We should go faster just to make sure that we are in position ahead of them early enough before they are so close that they could see our snorkel. As soon as we would retract the snorkel, we couldn't maintain that high speed because then we would have to switch to electric. Mr. Arles, please manage the engines. So now Mr. Arles with 2 crewmates is giving special attention to the engines. And by that, we could get the maximum out of it.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Yeah, okay, this is something that you always have to keep an eye on, that the torpedoes are properly maintained.
Herr Kaloy,
So although we are going flank speed, we get good hydrophone data, which pretty much confirm my estimation. So another half an hour is another 2 miles. So that pretty well confirms that this guy seems to be moving. This convoy seems to be moving with 8 knots, which is more or less standard. So distance at the moment 10 miles. Yeah, let's hope that on this distance they would not be able to detect our snorkel. Let's go for another half an hour.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
So we are going a bit faster because, yeah, now 2 miles.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
So now we are roughly a bit more than, yeah, let's say 1.5 miles away, almost 2 miles still away from their extrapolated course, which is maybe a good point to wait. So guys, now retract the snorkel, please.
Schnorchel einfahren. Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
So,
wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy? Herr Kaloy,
hydrophone.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
And now let's see if we see something. There they are. Smoke columns all over the horizon. So from the shape of the smoke column, it looks like you could imagine that the convoy stretches across a wide band like that. So, and that the southern ships, they are already moving straight ahead towards us, and the others, of course, are at an angle. So We are already in a good position. We could get a little bit further in
Elbefahrt, voraus.
and then turn off anything, and let's see that we just wait for them to, yeah, drive us over, and hope that no escort would detect us. This is always the tough one. So there will be loads of escorts. It's quite a few, 2, 3, 4, 5 escorts ahead of the convoy. And so if the convoy runs across us while we are submerged, of course it's a high risk that one of them detects us with their hydrophone. Yeah, we still have fair visibility. The sun has been setting. Oh, look, we even see that moon. It's almost... how do you call it? In German it's Neumond, when you don't see the moon at all. How do you call that in English? So these guys are now already passing astern of us, and they would be passing ahead of us. So still makes sense to get a little bit more into the center of that convoy band. So I think these guys there, at least this one, probably is an escort, and these who are so nicely lined up, they are probably merchantmen. So the nicely lined up ships usually are the merchantmen, and those which are a bit out of that regular system, they used to be the escort. So it would still take them a little bit less than an hour to reach us. Yeah, now the big question is, should we stay like that and show them our broadside? Then we would be right in the correct firing position when a merchantman passes by in front of us, but we would give them the larger detection cross-section. Or if we turn around into this direction, we would give them the smaller detection cross-section, but still, yeah, then we would have to maneuver ourselves into the shooting position again. And I mean, while they're passing by, sooner or later, even in this position, we would give them our broadsides for detection. So I think I'm just gonna stay like that. Oh yeah, and what they do since a year or more in the game is that they're doing a large scale zigzagging, like doing a 90 degrees course change every, I don't know, half an hour or something, and that makes it even the more difficult to actually pick them up. I didn't remember that because in the Mediterranean for several months I did not run into any convoy. only single merchants. But I'm pretty sure that these guys here are using that hardcore tactics. Yeah, in the beginning of the war they were just going straight ahead, and only if they detected you they would do some wiggling of the cores on a small scale. But later in the war they really start to do this change of course, like going like that and that and that and that and that, which would make it even more difficult to actually predict their speed, course and everything. Oh, there they are, coming close. And now we are really getting ahead of them.
Alarm! Zerstörer in Sicht. Peilung 280 Grad. Denkt alle an eure Ausbildung. Bleibt ruhig und konzentriert. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
That might be a destroyer heading more or less straight for us. That's the risk. That's the bloody risk. So at that point I would like to put down the periscope and wait it out. Just wait it out. And do we need to have the crew on alarm? Not yet.
Alarm beenden.
Not yet. But what I would like to do is turn off the gyro already
Kreiselkompass ausschalten.
to reduce, to minimize our sound. And let's also go for silent running, which would mean that the crew would switch to blue lighting. Let's see, that might reduce what we see up there, but yeah, we don't see anything anyway at the moment. To be as quiet as possible. Now, what is the state of the torpedoes? Fore and aft. Yeah, of course, at night it's much less risky that they spot our periscope. Yeah, but still. Now let's...
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Herr Kapitän.
They are coming in. This is probably the destroyers, the escorts ahead of the convoy. So allow me to be AFK at that moment for 1 minute. I'm gonna pause it. again. Thanks for your patience. So this is what I actually missed in the Mediterranean, the convoy actions. There was, as I said, I did several in-game months in the Mediterranean. And I did run only into one single convoy. Hey, weight loss, great to have you in. You just drop in when it's starting to get juicy. There is an enormous convoy closing in, and we put ourselves right ahead of it. So how are you doing? Hope you had a good Friday, and now it's weekend. I started the stream a little bit earlier again today. Yeah, now it's 11 o'clock and we are already 50 minutes into the stream. Nice that you're with us. So at the moment I try to keep the periscope down. Not to be seen. Yeah, in the darkness they would not spot our periscope pretty well, but I'm not sure if their radar by now might be capable to even spot the periscope. What do you think, guys? Do you think that they can spot the periscope via radar? The snorkel, they can, I'm pretty sure. But the question is from which distance. But that uncertainty is pretty good because I think the U-boat captains back then really didn't have that information as well. Mr. Schneider, please maintain that stern torpedo right now. But we still have time for that. Problem is that, yeah, maintaining the torpedo actually produces additional noise. Water in the bilge. Oh, well, more than a bit, yeah. Well, but now it's too late. I don't want to turn on the pump now. Discipline is down by 4%. Yeah, and we are not operating the galley while being on silent running. Yeah, by the way, weight loss, could you still confirm that this Kugler's mod, that it is working without any flaws? Hey, Pitt! Hey, I feel honored by your visit. Nice to have you in. How are you doing? So, I haven't checked actually. Have you been streaming by yourself before? Yeah, how are you doing? So, it's weekend. But yeah, I know you mentioned that you're working in shifts, so if it's a weekend for me, it might be that you will work over the weekend, I guess. Having your own schedule. Yeah, why not keeping up the maintenance? So, although I think the maintenance will be used up until we get into action. But it would be pretty favorable to always have the stern torpedoes well maintained if we suddenly have to hit the road and run for it. Always good to have a stern torpedo ready. This is actually the only thing that I like to have the sound-seeking torpedoes for, to fire it astern when you are chased by an escort, and then you could sink them, single shot sink them. If you fire a sound-seeking torpedo on a merchantman, I had very bad experience. So it hit in the stern and it didn't even slow them down. So from my experience, I would say there is no point in firing Soundkönig's sound-seeking torpedoes towards merchantmen. Yeah, we discussed that once already. The problem is maybe that as soon as they get close to the target, they leave their programmed depth and go right in. So this effect of the magnetic pistol to detonate underneath the hull, under the keel, would just not work. So there they are, coming in slowly. Contact there. Contact there. And one contact there. Yeah, it's not bad if we go a little bit further north at slowest speed. Yeah, let's just keep the periscope down. It just wouldn't help us any further at the moment. And try to just do it via the hydrophone. And maybe give it another save. Yeah, I am not doing it that hardcore like Pitt does. And yeah, much respect for playing U-Boat like you do. With, in the Iron Man mode. Well, actually the game doesn't have an official Iron Man mode, but what some guys do, like Pitt for example, they play the game, and when they die they don't reload, but restart the whole campaign. So that is actually Iron Man mode. Self-confinement to Iron Man mode. And I pretty much like that approach. Just for me, it feels too tough to do it like that. And I would never do it through the war like that. And this is actually the first time that I go that late into the war. Although I play the game since... How long is it on the market? 5 years minimum. But I never went so far as I am right now. So give it a save. Just if, yeah, shit hits the fan, we can reload. And maybe I would like to stop now.
Herr Kapitän?
Yeah.
Alle Maschinen stopp.
Yeah, these are not
Herr Kaloy?
single contacts, but it's representing groups. There is so many ships that we can't really figure out any particular ship at the moment. I would just mark those who are the furthest ahead. And this one quite hits me, if it is correct, but yeah, it's still a group. And what's the distance? Wow, just 3 miles. Only just 3 miles at a bit less than 90 degrees port, which would be, yeah, say 380 or something. So shall we? What I'm really missing is an illumination of the heading. Yeah, 280. Of course, not 380. There, they are coming straight for us. And I'm pretty sure that this guy there is...
Handelsschiff. 275 Grad.
Okay. That would be nice. I just was about to say that this probably is an escort. Yeah, let's stay put for now. And give it another save. Better safe than sorry. Yeah, the dive planes are still on electric, which emits additional noise, but I don't dare to put it to manual, because then we might not be able to keep the depth. Any idea, guys? If I would turn off the electric support of the dive planes and have one guy doing the improved depth keeping, would this prevent me from broaching the surface even if I have the dive planes on manual?
Herr Kaloy?
Yeah, more and more propellers, of course. So another 5 minutes. Wow, and now they are really coming close. These guys look like they're hitting me right away.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Herr Kaloi. Ja.
They're so close now. 2 miles.
Handelschef, 275 Grad.
Must be that guy. It must be that guy. And he seems to be heading straight for me. So that's not a good firing position, actually. Let's go
Kleine Fahrt zurück.
slowly backwards.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Herr Kaloi.
This is a military for sure.
Handelschef, 280 Grad. Handelschef,
That
290
guy.
Grad.
This is the guy I want to get. So now it's time to care for maintenance seriously. 2 and 3.
Etwas Unterstützung. Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
So guys, please do that silently. So what ship do we have? Any guesses, guys? I wish we had Colin in, because he's the perfect spotter. Maybe even in the darkness he could tell us right away what ship this is. Problem is that there is this guy coming in, and at the moment I fear that this is an escort. But who is this? Any guesses, guys? Is it this one? I'm not sure. It's the first guess. So torpedo tube number 3 needs maintenance. And at that point, I would like to have Mr. Schultz. Yeah, he needs a cup of coffee or he wouldn't do it.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
So now, Mr. Schultz, our bosun, please man the torpedo calculator. There we are. Please, guys, help me. Give me guidance. Give me your guesses. What type of ship we do have there? I have to admit that at the moment I am pretty lost. At least what we know is that it is going with an estimated velocity of it's at 300. Which is minus 60. Which means that probably he's at an angle on bow of 26. So let's put that. And the distance. Pretty close. Less than a mile, right?
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Lage 2,7 rechts. Entfernung 1,400 Meter. Alle Maschinen stoppen.
So guys, please help me. What type of ship do we see here? Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure that it's not this one. Is it a Liberty? Oh God, I am so... Ah, shit. So please, chat, help me identifying that guy. Oh my God. Come on. We just have to wait it out. Just can't figure out what type of ship that was. Give it a save. W506. Now, what's the condition of maintenance? Torpedo T1 needs maintenance. So give it. And 5, please. No. Where is that? Oh, another escort. Come on, guys, let's just stay put and wait. Maybe they're gonna pass by without detecting us. Silent run. They are all above us. Fingers crossed that they don't detect us. So let these, if we could let them pass by. Being undetected, then when we are in the middle of the convoy, I think in the middle of the convoy there should be no escort, and then we should be fairly okay. So yeah, always imagine there is this bulk of the convoy surrounded by a circle of escorts, and when the front part of the escort now passes across us without noticing us, then inside we have a fair chance of maneuvering into a good position to sink some of the guys. So there they are passing by, and when they are going with something like 8 knots, if I wait for 15 minutes from now on, which would be 20 past 5, they should be 2 miles away already. And then we might have the opportunity to torpedo one of the following merchants. That's my strategy at the moment. But it only works if these guys, this front, how do you call it, the vanguard, if they are not detecting us. This escort is closing by so close at the moment. I'm very surprised that they didn't yet ping us. But of course that could happen just any minute, any second.
Herr Kaloy.
Yeah, we could do this bit of cheating. And there we have a merchantman passing behind our stern. And that was oh my god. That escort was passing by so close, and at the moment it looks like that it's going in a circle and not passing by just straight. If I would turn on the engines now, they would detect me, I'm sure. So I could, if I had a decent stern torpedo, I mean, the sound seekers, I could now fire the stern torpedo on that guy, but yeah, it's passing a stern, but it's just a waste of torpedoes because it just wouldn't even slow them down if I hit them. Let's just wait it out. There will be passing. There will be more guys passing by when this Vorhut, is it Vanguard in English? When this is further away. Let's just hope that they don't have escorts in the middle of the convoy. No, I will definitely not transmit that right now. Or the enemies would, yeah, I would give away at least the information of my presence. So that guy is quickly moving away by now. Okay. Which is what? Changing the assignment for a U-boat. Please head to the square. Okay. Different square to head for. Okay, by this we automatically went into the targeted square because of the change of schedule. Okay, that merchantman was passing close by, but firing one of these stern sound-seeking torpedoes would not make any sense. So what is this guy? I think I would like to go for that one. So sorry, I'm cheating a bit right now. Which one is this? That's the one without a cabin behind the chimney. So let's still wait it out a bit. So by now, the escorts, which are ahead of the convoy, are pretty far away. And this is the guy I would like to go for now. But I have to be fast enough. So, what about the maintenance status? Maintain. Okay, it looks alright. It looks alright. Now let's poke up. Give it a save at that point. And let's poke up periscope then. That's the guy, right? No, that's it not. Nope. Would I go for that guy? It's pretty clear. It's this one. What's the distance?
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum
It's
Ziel
still pretty far away.
5 Meter.
Shall we
Gegnerlage
give it a try?
1, Bug rechts.
Shall we give it a try? It's a pretty remote shot.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 2, 9, 2, 4 Meter. Gegnerlage 8.
Draw at 7.5.
Tor 1 bewässern. Tor 1 bewässert.
Give me, please. Give me the solution, please. Why don't we get the solution for that torpedo?
Unterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 9, 6 rechts. Gegnerfahrt 8 Knoten. Los. Tor 2 bewässern. Los. Tor 3 bewässern. Tor 3 bewässert. Los.
All right. So that's it. Now we have to pray.
Ja.
Yeah, that's a shot from pretty far away. I usually try to get closer. I usually try to get closer. If you ask me, this one looks like it's going too far in front of that guy. But maybe one of the other ones then is gonna get him.
Der Torpedo ist auf halbem Weg.
Doesn't look too bad now. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it might be just a bit too far ahead. Ah, come on, come on. That will be a close one. That will be a close one. Please let it... Oh, it's a dot. Come on. It was a dot. Too bad. Although we did quite some thorough. And this one was a hit. What about the third one? It's okay. So one dot, one hit, one miss. And with serious damage.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedo-Einschlag. 30 Sekunden. 20 Sekunden.
I actually don't see any effect on them.
10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
Give it a save. W50. 7.
Fehlschuss. Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Funkstrafe erhalten.
No, we don't get that one. We don't get that one. But we could maybe get that one.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Maybe we could get that one. Wow, come on, I just wonder why we don't see any effect on that guy. This was the one that we did hit, wasn't it?
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 983 Meter. Rohr 4 bewässern. Los. Ja.
Oh no, this one is passing ahead of the guy.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag.
Yeah, this is gonna be a miss. This is gonna be a miss.
20 Sekunden. Kommandant, wir wurden von SD geortet. 10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
Come on. There was one ship that we actually did. Oh, nice. The guy is slowed down. Probably not moving anymore and maybe sinking. So we did at least hit that one guy, which is somewhere there. Let's mark it on the map. And maybe this is now the right time to dive.
Auf maximale, sichere Tiefe gehen. Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter.
It's pretty quiet in the chat. Are you still there, guys?
Meter.
So now.
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter.
And guys, go for alarm.
Verstanden, Herr Kommandant. 75 Meter.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin? Verstanden, Herr Kommandant. 90 Meter.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Zu Befehl, Herr Kommandant.
Okay, discipline is 100%. Bounty Hunt gave us a boost, gave a moral boost to the crew
100 Meter.
because we scored a hit.
Kommandant, wir wurden
Oh shit.
Keine Panik.
Yeah, we are reloading the torpedoes. This is maybe too noisy.
Wir wurden von Estik geortet.
115 Meter.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Ja.
Meter.
So, guys, here we are being pinged.
140 Meter.
Ja,
Yeah, they're all around us. One guy coming in from there, so
150 Meter.
Tauchen auf. 200 Meter.
so
155
we did prime the boat to
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet.
deeper depths. Deeper depths, that sounds not very, stylish.
160 Meter. 190 Meter.
Mr. Hinrich, no, I need you at the
Horchraum.
hydrophone.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet.
Yes, I know.
195 Meter.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
200 Meter.
Just too many contacts. No way of keeping track of them.
Meter.
Wasserbomben. Sehr nah.
200 Meter. Kommandant. Estik geortet.
Schneller, schneller.
Schraubengeräusche. Direkt über uns.
Depth charts. Let's just hope that they don't know that we can go that deep. No hedgehogs yet.
Kleine Fahrt voraus. That's hedgehogs. Oh my god. Tauchen auf.
They are firing hedgehogs.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet.
190 Meter.
It takes a while till the hedgehogs sink down, so it might well be that we get hit with some delay.
Meter. Tauchen auf. 195 Meter. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Hey, Artorius? No. There should be some sound. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what's that? What the?
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, Artorius? Okay, no. Just did a little check. Yeah, thanks, Pit, for the feedback. Yeah. So, Artorius, I'm sorry to say that, but looks like the problem might be on your side.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estig geortet. 200 Meter.
There is a leak. Oh.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Please. Take care of that one. Yeah, that's only flares.
205 Meter. Tauchen auf. 190 Meter.
Very good.
Aktuelle Tiefe 200 Meter.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Please. So should I mean, next time.
195 Meter.
Next time I get depth charged, I'm gonna turn on the pump. Oh shit.
Schneller, schneller. Tauchen auf. 170 Meter.
That's hedgehogs again.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estig geortet.
That's hedgehogs again.
190 Meter.
Turn on the pump, please.
Lenzpumpe einschalten.
Get some water out.
Direkt über uns.
They're right above us.
Sehr nah.
105
Dropping depth charges. Pretty close. We are being hedgehogged and we're being depth charged at the same time. I get a little bit higher depth so
180
that
Meter.
the pump would actually work. Yeah, okay. We are getting some water shipped out of the boat.
170 Meter.
That sounds like the depth charges are exploding away.
170 Meter. Tauchen auf. 200
So Let's get quiet again. Except for the pump, while the depth charts.
Direkt über uns. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Schneller, schneller. Aktuelle Tiefe 75 Meter.
Okay, that's good. We are getting the water out.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. 185 Meter. Schraubengeräusche direkt über uns. Aktuelle Tiefe 190 Meter.
Wow, they're really giving us a beating. Oh shit. Hedgehogs again.
60 Meter.
Hedgehogs again.
Meter.
There is so much hurly-burly going on up there. Can't be that they still are able to hear us down here. So somebody's gonna probably turn off the pumps, because everything is dry by now.
185 Meter. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
So would somebody please...
Sehr nah. 175 Meter. Schneller, schneller.
Folgen Sie mir. Verstanden. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Kommandant.
Lenzpumpe ausschalten.
Yeah, please turn off the pump.
170 Meter. Tauchen auf. 140 Meter.
Oh my god. Hell let loose upon us.
Aktuelle Tiefe 175 Meter.
Let's just hope that we are gonna get that one ship. It was seriously damaged. It's just a pity that we had that dud. It was fairly well maintained, so bad luck that it was still a dud.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Alright, so let me be AFK for 1 minute.
Aktuelle Tiefe 190 Meter.
Yeah, these sounds are flares being fired. That's uncritical. But they are firing loads of depth charges and hedgehogs upon us.
Aktuelle Tiefe 195 Meter.
So, Artorius, are you still there? Did you fix it? Could you hear my sound by now?
190 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 195 Meter.
I hope that they wouldn't expect me to be able to go that deep. And so that they hopefully would never put their depth pistol of the depth charge to that depth. But still, the hedgehogs are critical, so if the hedgehogs are just sinking down, and if they hit the hull, they explode. Okay, let's stop and let's go completely quiet. Oh, what was that beautiful noise? Hey, sad boy Gerald. Thank you very much for the follow. That's very much appreciated. So don't hesitate to make yourself visible in the chat, but yeah, if you just lurk, it's perfectly fine just as well. I'm always curious about where you're from roughly and what your experience with the game is, but as I said, just watching is of course perfectly fine. Some say you talk too much. Alright, I'm not afraid of that. Chat is always welcomed here. So I just hope that this guy is sinking. Yeah, back then. Yeah, Silent Hunter was a great game. I played it a lot back then, but since I discovered this one here many years ago, I completely abandoned Silent Hunter, I have to admit. This one here is so great, so immersive. Just a bit of water in the bilge, we are fine like that. And now we are completely silent. And yeah, let's see. Okay, alright. Yeah, the graphics was pretty nice already back then. Was it 4 or 5? Never sure about the numbers. Yeah, I'd been playing Silent Hunter till something like 6 years ago, until I actually saw this one here. There were some beautiful updates. I think it was Silent Hunter 5, wasn't it? In the vanilla version it was not too good, but there were some beautiful mods that you could install, and then it was great. Just back then my computer broke and I had just discovered this one, and on the new computer I just didn't do the effort of installing all the mods again, and so I just switched to UBOAT. Yes, they were, exactly, and this is what I'm doing right now. I'm in February, late February 44, and I'm doing this late campaign final stand. Yeah, I had been firing 4 torpedoes, 3 torpedoes on a C3. It was 2 hits, but one of the hits was a dud. 2 hits, 1 miss. I think that's a good ratio. Yeah, but as I said, one was a dud. And so I just hope that this serious hit that I gave them actually permanently made them not being able to move. I just hope that they don't repair the ship while I'm down here and can get away. Or, well, maybe if we are lucky they even sank. Meanwhile, yeah, it was said to be serious damages. And it was a hit quite in the middle of the hull. And right now, sounds are getting slightly lower. Maybe we are getting away. Talking about getting away, let's give it a save. Yeah, I'm playing on almost maximum difficulty level, so I have to mark all the contacts manually on the map, and yeah, using the periscope. Yeah, okay, so that's a good success to go to bed, isn't it? Yeah, what I usually do from the map, I take hydrophone readings. So if you have 2 or 3 hydrophone positions, you can extrapolate their course and their speed. And with this, also the angle on bow. And then doing this distance measurement. So that's the 3 settings. So I actually do get their course, which is the angle on bow, and their speed from the map, from several hydrophone readings, and the distance finally from that prism thing that you have in the periscope for the distance measurement. Yeah, I only do it on the map because, yeah, this speed measurement that you can do with the periscope, it's just completely fucked up. It doesn't work at all, if you ask me. I never get, maybe it's up to me, maybe I just don't get it, but I never get reasonable results. So the only thing that I do is, like here, having 1 hydrophone check, 2nd and 3rd, and if you do the hydrophone checks each 1 hour apart, then it's pretty easy to estimate their speed. So if within 1 hour they go by 8 miles, it's 8 knots. And that's how I used to do it. Okay. Yeah, so I don't do the stabilization. Oh no, I thought we got away, and there they have us again. Yeah, I never do the periscope stabilization. Yeah, so maybe this is why it wouldn't work. So roughly at that point we hit that merchant, that C3, and it was actually stopping. It was not moving anymore, and it was partly sinking, but I'm not sure if it did finally sink. So when we actually wait out all this depth charging and being hunted, at one point the escort has to continue to follow their convoy, and then they should leave me alone, and then I have to check that place and hope that I just find a little bit of debris there so that I can confirm that kill. the moment it pretty much looks like that they have no idea where I am. We were briefly pinged, but no follow-up ping. Yeah, some guys in the chat actually said that this speed measurement would only work when you're close to 90 degrees of their course. But yeah, to me that's pretty unrealistic. I seldomly have a situation where I could do this kind of measurement. So I pretty much prefer to do that measurement with the hydrophone checks. Doing a hydrophone check every 1 hour, and from that you can perfectly well estimate their speed. Yeah, there is still fast movers up there, but they are not pinging us. So right now that looks good. We just don't have any report of the sinking of that C3. Ah, no, I haven't. There is this mod which I loved so much. Maybe, do you mean that, what was the name of the mod? The device energy management mod that actually had included the thermocline concept. Oh, what's that? We do have leaks. Why? Just spontaneously? Well, it's kind of a bit of statistics. So one guy, please repair the pipes, and one guy, please repair the torpedo loading hatch. Flank, please. And the other one here. So what is the deep leak status by that? Boat's readiness is 22%, which is, I think, pretty alright. Yeah, I am doing the deep leaks mod. That's the only mod that I'm running at the moment. So in the vanilla game you just dive and dive, and at one point you just suddenly have a hull crush. And with the deep leaks mod you have these minor leaks occurring. The deeper you go, you have some pipe blowing away, some gasket given away. And well, when you do a dive, the more you dive, the more you kind of improve that, and the less yeah, you actually reduce the probability of these events, these leaks to occur when you go deep again and again and repair it. Yeah, I have switched to that. You can control that in the menu, and I have switched it that the crew would please only do the repairs manually, because the game does it a bit weird. I would recommend that you switch off the auto repair in the crew management menu here in the tasks for the crew. Here, the repair. I put it to 0 everywhere, and so by that you actually have it manually. So we have a bit of water in the bilge in the control room. We have a bit of water in the machine room, diesel engine room, and I think we also have a bit of water in the bow torpedo room. So the question is whether we should turn on the pumps or whether we should stay quiet. Yeah, my third engineer, he is primed to do the maintenance. He's doing the maintenance of the torpedoes. Hey, that's pretty amazing if you just have so few hours in the game, yet you still ask the right questions. So you pretty much grasp the concept of the game, I would guess, after just a few hours. But right now, propellers are going down. So it pretty much sounds like that these guys are leaving us alone. Let's just hope that that guy that we did torpedo here, that it's still there and that they didn't repair their engines and move away. Yeah, if you apply, like here, I have Mr. Grader, he's my chief engineer. I have assigned him on the engines and have assigned 2 crewmates, and that means that... Okay, you can't see it right now because we don't have the engines running, but that means that you consume 30% less fuel if you had that arrangement, 1 engineer or mechanic assigned to the engines with 2 crewmates. Means 30% reduced fuel usage, and it means that you can actually go flank speed, which you can't if you haven't assigned one of the engineering officers to the engines with crewmates. If you only assign the engineering officer with 1 crewmate, you could go to große Fahrt, and if you assign one of the engineering officers with 2 crewmates, you can go äußerste Fahrt, flank speed. Yeah, that's great. It pretty much sounds like we are getting away, or actually they are getting away. Yeah, here, Mr. Arles and Mr. Grade, I have on high priority on the engines, and Mr. Schneider, our mechanic, I didn't, so that he could actually do the maintenance and the reloading. And so in this configuration, Mr. Schneider is always doing just maintenance when he's not asleep. And that's pretty alright to keep the torpedoes on a high maintenance level. Good question. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe you're right, and maybe it doesn't make sense because you do it manually anyway. Yeah, this is when there is no officer present. When there is no officer present at the engines, then you would have the crew prioritize working on the engines. And that's quite important, actually. Hey, Nico. Yeah, not quite sure. We did torpedo 1C3, and it must be somewhere here. We did torpedo it with 3 torpedoes. One was a miss, one was a hit and it exploded, and one was a hit and it was a dud. So this one hit was doing serious damages. So I hope that at least the guy is still there, and then that when the convoy is moving on and leaving me alone, that we can get there and finally sink it. But yeah, worst case would be that they actually were able to repair and get away. And yeah, the convoy, the escorts gave us quite a hard time. That was pretty much of a, well, there was hedgehogs and depth charts all around, but we survived up to now. Hey, not wet, just cold. Nice to have you in. Nice to see my wonderful photos of the moon with my 1 meter periscope, telescope, I wanted to say. Yes, yeah. That's so great. This is one of the very, very good strengths of the game, of this simulation, that you have these other German subs interacting. That's just great. Let's just call it Periscope. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, but Gerald, that's actually the point. That's one of these beautiful things about that game. That you have these interactions. I had that before. I had it that I was just about to torpedo a ship and then another German submarine sank it right before my eyes. But yeah, how often did they actually save my ass because they distracted the escort from me? So at the moment we don't hear anything. Let's give it a save. And maybe I would like to slowly get back to the surface. There is no propeller noise eminent anymore. Let's go to 50 meters.
50 Meter.
Yeah, that's good if it even managed to get away. I often had it that I got the report that other submarines were finally sunk.
Aktuelle Tiefe 190 Meter.
Yeah, Nico, thanks. I particularly like this one because this is from a photo that I actually did shoot in San Jose
185
in California when I was on a convention, a summit there.
Meter.
That was some of the two opportunities that I had to get to the US. It was only twice, and this one was me going to California job-wise actually, so I didn't have much of an opportunity to travel around or something.
75 Meter. Meter.
Yeah, the same ship ID. Yeah, the names of the ships, they actually do repeat.
Meter.
Yeah, the bullet doesn't have any particular meaning, but the flower is also one picture that I took when we were living in Bavaria. Something like, it's 10 years ago. We had been living in Bavaria for a few years, and we were living on actually it was kind of a farm which was transformed by the owner to, he had his horses there and a few apartments, and we were living in one of them. Beautiful time back then in the countryside. And there I took that picture of the flower. Yes, Gerald, the world is pretty persistent. So they do a great job in giving you a feeling of really being in it.
135 Meter.
Yeah. That's so great about the game, yep. But on the other hand, to be honest, you really run into repeatedly having the same names of the ships.
Meter.
$20 in the bilge. Yeah, we still have that water in the bilges from these leaks that we got. An endangered species, yeah. Guys, allow me to be AFK just for 1 minute. Maybe I'm gonna get me a little snack. Alright guys, back again. Just getting me a slice of bread. Yeah, actually, lately I'm trying to keep my late night snacks more healthy. No, it's not quite true. You could also pump water out of the other compartments. It just takes longer. So if you want to accelerate to get the water out of this compartment and
90 Meter.
in that compartment, you could additionally order sailors to do it with buckets, but in principle you can also get the water out just with the pump.
Meter.
Herr Kaloi.
Meter.
So what's the estimated distance at the moment? 4 miles. Yeah, it would support the pump. So if you want to get it empty quickly, you should have it being supported to carry it with buckets.
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter.
Yeah, what is it here? Achtung, right? Achtung would put the crew to alarm, yeah.
50 Meter.
The term Achtung maybe became internationally popular since the U2 album Achtung Baby, which I think they recorded mainly in Berlin.
50 Meter. Meter.
So sooner or later I would like to go there.
Tauchen auf 20 Meter. Kleine Fahrt voran.
Yeah, let's do kleine Fahrt. Slow ahead. We didn't yet sink any tonnage, obviously. So my fear is that these guys were actually able to repair the ship meanwhile and were on their way by now.
Meter.
Oh, cool. There are lifeboats close. That's very, very nice. How could that be?
Aktuelle Tiefe 25 Meter.
10 Meter.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 165 Grad.
Let's stop it for now
Auf Seerund.
and get to periscope depth.
50 Meter.
And please, Who's gonna do it? Mr. Arlos, please make sure that we don't breach the surface.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert.
Yeah, Nico, exactly. So it can't be this one. That's just too far away. So there must be another ship sinking. Of course, we had that torpedo, these torpedoes which were doing meandering course. But yeah, there was really no report on the hydrophone that we sank another guy. Okay, there we have a sinking ship on 230. 200. Okay, that must be that guy. It's definitely sinking, but it seems to be taking a long time. So maybe it's them. So let's get the periscope down again, just to be on the safe side. So pretty much looks like we actually did sink the guy, or it is still sinking.
Ich benötige Ihre Unterstützung. Folgen Sie mir.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Let's give it another save. Row your submarine, yes.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 210 Grad. Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 200 Grad.
Yeah, do you row? I actually did that in my youth. So sailing regattas with dinghy sailing actually, and not for races but just for fun. I did rowing boats tours in the boat club in my hometown, and since just something like just before Corona years, we did a boat trip with our rowing boats every year with the good old friends from back in the days from school time. Ah, you did. Yeah, nice. Same for me. So I did it years ago, and yeah, since Corona we don't do these tours anymore, but up to Corona, me and a few friends from school time, we always did a tour on some German river or, well, neighboring country river. Like we even went to France or to Czech Republic. Ah, yeah, I'm still submerged. It's going down. But not yet. Finally. I wonder if I should give it a final shot. Yeah, looks like they already abandoned ship. I think I see the boats floating next to it. Yeah, we were missing quite a few countries. Yeah, we were doing it mainly in Germany, on German rivers, like the Rhine or the Main or the Mosel. Yeah, but we also went to the Netherlands, to France, and, like I said, to the Czech Republic. The Elbe. I think those were the countries that we went to. Yeah, usually we got the boats from our home boat club, put them on a trailer, and get somewhere. No, that's not the observation scope, that's the attack scope. I wonder if I should give the guy one final shot. But the crew has already abandoned. What do you mean with that? Ich bin bereits etwas. No, I don't quite get the point of that statement, I have to admit. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't light up green. You could go for the observation periscope, and the observation periscope has a night filter giving you some, yeah, red filter, having a better view at night. Distance, no. 2 miles, roughly.
Geräusch. Peilung 305 Grad. Alle Maschinen stopp.
Yep. It's already a few countries. Netherlands, France, Czech Republic. Don't trust. So that was a lot of ado to sink that one ship. But yeah, that's how it is late in the war. Same for me, I never used the observation periscope much. Problem is that it is just too short. You can't stick it out of the water far enough. Ah yeah, this is what you write there, yeah. That's exactly the point, yeah. So you should just be able to stick it up a little bit further, then it would make sense, but like that it doesn't make any sense. I 100% agree, Gerald. It's just not going down. Look at that, after all these hours. It should be finally going down, but it isn't. It just isn't. Maybe I have to give the final torpedo. Yeah, I could sink it with the deck gun. I'm just, reluctant to get to the surface while all these guys are still there on the horizon. If I would start to deck gun that ship, I'm just worried that they might return and give me a beating again. Yep. Maybe let's just wait for a little while till that convoy has passed far away, and then we are gonna give it in German we would say the Fangschuss, the coup de grace. That would be it, right? Give it the coup de grace with the deck gun. Not wasting another torpedo. Come on, let's give the save. And then get to the surface.
Anblasen.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Konvoi in Sichtung. Peilung 355 Grad.
Let's just hope that
in Sichtung. Peilung 315 Grad. Auf diesem
Oh shit, they are.
Geortet. Peilung
Feindliche Kriegsschiffe in Sichtung. Peilung 305 Grad. Kurs setzen.
They're getting us on the radar. So that was probably a bad idea to get to the surface that early.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Alle Maschinen stoppen.
So let's stop. And send a team to the freighter to sink it finally. Mr. Grade, Mr. Arles, and Mr. Schultz. And let's send them over in the Zodiac. I don't remember, to be honest, when I got the radar. Go to the engine room and scuttle the ship without using explosives. So, lifeboat 1. Lifeboat 2. And lifeboat 3. 1, 2. Let's get the officers on board. And send the cute messages. Ah, well, for that we need Mr. Strauss at the radio. And there we go. Invite them on board. Yeah. Yep. So we did finally sink the guy. Hey Nico, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be live tomorrow. And again, probably it's not gonna be a late night stream, but I think I'm gonna start something like 10 o'clock, like today. So it would be a pleasure to have you in. Alright, so see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a good night. Great to have you in the stream. Maybe I should get away by now. Okay, so this was already sufficient. So I just did sink one ship, and that was enough to finish the mission. Pretty amazing. So here we can see that ship was 7,800 tons. That single ship, great. So one kill and the mission is done. But we could still continue hunting. No, I never did. I just remember weight loss. He told us yesterday or the day after yesterday that he once ran into this kind of a ship which was moving away the Norwegian gold treasure. Yeah, but I never did. I never did find gold. But I often just don't take the effort to search the cargo hold.
Alle Maschinen stopp.
Ja?
Yes, what would they do? They would probably just go off for Argentina. For a relaxed private life, yep. Particularly that late in the war, when everybody was still sensing that the whole war wouldn't make any sense, no chance of winning. So if you would run into 3 tons of gold, you would just go off and separate it amongst the crew and get to South America or something.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
And get the sausages, please. Yeah, of course. I mean, so many of the submarines were sunk. So if they would just not hear any report of you anymore, they would just assume that you were gone. That you were sunk, yep. Now, there we go. And get it. Now get the sausages to the stores and then get it right to the galley to keep the morale up. But at the moment we don't need it. We are at 100% more. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how this is going to develop.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Now, let's carry on.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
So let's go. Let's get away. So looks like they did detect our radio transmission.
Äußerste
So
Kraft voraus.
let's see that we get away. Let's give it a save. W10 510 and let's go.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
So allow me to be AFK for just 1 minute or two. Alright, back again. So, thanks for your patience. Let's see that we get away from the scene. We do have a bit of a strain and stress. And at the moment we are being detected by their radar, obviously. Or at least we are detecting their radar emissions. Not quite clear if they would detect us on that basis. But let's just try to get away.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Yes. Yes, Gerald. That's true. So I usually never get the crew morale down so far that I would actually reveal their personalities. That should be some different. They should do it differently. Yeah, that's one more remark which shows that you are pretty deep into the game. I 100% agree. They should do that differently. Did I already give the save?
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
Yeah, that was a great adventure. And we finally did sink one ship. And that might be realistic. So the whole simulation, to me it feels pretty realistic. If you play it with high difficulty level, it feels like, yeah, sinking an enemy is really a challenge. Yes, the happy times back then, yep. Yeah, for me, this is the very first time that I went so far into the war. Before this one here, I only went into 41 January or something. So this is the very first time that I go so deep into the war, so late into the war. And right now I'm, yeah, determined to finish the game. Yeah, let's turn on the gyro again. Let's turn on the dive planes again. Not to forget about that. I mean, the electric servo supported dive planes. That's what I mean. Ah, you're still there. Nice. Yeah, I was actually missing your commands, weight loss.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Funkmesssignale geortet. Peilung 135 Grad.
Okay, that must be an airplane. And I think I am running out of anti-aircraft ammo. So it would make sense to dive away, but allow me to be AFK until we make that decision. No. Let's get away from that scenery and then try to hunt another convoy. Of course, we could try to do another run onto that one. Let's move it like that.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
they spot us.
Februar 2 gewartet. Februar 5 gewartet.
Yes, that's right. In real life, they followed the same convoy for hundreds of miles. 100% agree. And I'm really thinking about doing that. Yep. Now, while the planes are abroad,
Tauchen auf.
let's do a hydrophone check. Let's do a hydrophone check.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Meter.
Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter.
No, I didn't. I think I didn't. I remember, well, I once was in Pennsylvania, somewhere in the middle of Pennsylvania. And, well, we had a good burger there, but I wouldn't, in principle, call a burger fast food, actually. If it's well made. And this one was actually well made.
50 Meter. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Okay, do we get any contact?
Meter.
Yeah, but no, I hadn't been visiting. Would it be? Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's.
50 Meter.
That's the two ones that cross my mind. And Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's not pretty good in Europe. But yeah, McDonald's actually is. Yeah, maybe, yep. Yeah, personally, I prefer Burger King. Is it also US based? Yeah, I have to admit I never went to Subway, neither in Europe nor in the US. So, no contact, obviously. So maybe we should get back to the surface and do exactly what you suggested and follow that convoy for hundreds of miles. Yep. But I 100% agree that Burger King does have the better burgers, yeah.
Anblasen.
Funkmesssignale geortet. Peilung
Auf Dieselmotoren
125
wechseln.
Grad. Herr Kaloy, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, that's so great about the game, that it is so consistent. So I'm pretty sure that I could still intercept that convoy which is moving that route. Yeah, because the encounters are not scripted, but real, with real convoy routes. The CEO being scared of it, yeah. So that about Burger King or McDonald's?
Äußerste Kraft voraus.
So we did sink a big guy, and this actually did what we needed to finish this campaign. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds a bit like that German muesli producer. Only that this guy is probably much more, authentic and has more street credibility. You know what guy I mean? I just don't recall his name. How weird it seemed, yeah. Ah, yeah, Seitenbacher, that was it. So the German guys amongst you probably know that. Advertising for Seitenbacher. Which is so weird, but yeah, still authentic, because the guy who owns the company is actually doing that advertising. He's doing it by himself, like he's actually saying like, fuck these advertising models and let me just do it.
Halbe Fahrt voraus. Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Natürlich, Herr Kollege. Diesel besetzen.
Okay, let's give it another hydrophone check.
50 Meter.
We might be in the range. If they are moving that way.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln. ...25 Meter. Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter. Herr Kaloin.
Come on, they must be in range. They must be in range.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Anblasen. Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter. Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Torpedo 3 gewartet.
Herr Kaloy, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, we are. Alright guys, it's 2 o'clock. And we had something like almost 4 hours of stream. So, I think this is a decent time to call it a day. Yeah, let's give it a save. That was pretty successful. Yeah, acquiescing. Pleasure to have you in all the time. Have a good night. Yeah, in Canada now here it's 2 o'clock, so over at your place it's something like 6 hours earlier. What is it? 8 o'clock? 7 or 8 o'clock at your place, Aqua, I think. 8 o'clock, yeah, alright. So, have a good evening. And Silent Boy, it was a pleasure. Thanks for giving me that follow. Great to have you in. And looking forward to see you again. I'm definitely gonna stream tomorrow night, just as well. Weight loss, like usual. Great to have you. And there was Nico, but I think he went to bed by now. Also great to have you. And yeah, not wet, just cold. Just great. You were pretty quiet. I'm not quite sure if you're still there. If you are, it was great to have you. And have a good night. And Pit, yeah, you were in the stream for a while. That was an honor to have you. Artorius, not quite sure. You said that you didn't hear anything. Hope you were able to fix that. Uncle Bot, it would be so great to have you in the chat. Mr. Gramps, thanks a lot for giving your comments in the beginning. From the UK, from London. So, I'm gonna do another stream tomorrow. Probably it's not gonna be late night, but I'm gonna also start like today, 10 o'clock or something. And maybe over the day I might stream something else. Maybe I'm gonna do another DayZ stream over the day. But in the evening I'm definitely gonna do another UBOAT stream. So guys, have a good night and see you then. Bye bye.